Oh, so apparently, once again, for whatever fucking reason, my camera isn't working, but let me see. Let me quickly see if I can solve this problem. We can't find your camera. Oh, fuck that shit. There is a physical switch or button for the camera on your PC. Make sure it's turned on. No, there is no fucking physical button. There's never gonna be one. Well then, anyway, I would say let's head into something. Let's see what I can find something quite quickly. I guess though that I have missed out on certain parts of certain summaries for quite a while actually. Like How to Win Friends and Influence People, I've I think never gone through it fully, which is a little tiny bit of a pity because it is such a good book. But let me see what I can find. Getting things done. Well, I guess that we know what it is about now. So let's actually see what Derek Sivers is as well having on his site. So maybe there's something tremendously amazing that I really want to go through and really want to talk about and really want to discuss and really want to share with you. The listening book. Let's actually head into The Listening Book by W.A. Mathieu, I guess. Is there some sound? No, there's no sound. You should be able to see everything right? Yes, everything is fine. Everyone should read this book of little essays about listening. It teaches your ears to pay more attention. It calls your attention to sounds you hadn't noticed. It is beautifully written and makes your life better. I read it twice 24 years ago, and reading it again this week, it was even better than I remember. My notes, and there's actually very little notes, so this is going to be the only episode featuring this, hopefully, amazing book. The eyes are hungry, or the eyes. They eat brain energy. When you close your eyes, your brain opens to your ears. When you open your eyes, now the brain is crowded. When people are listening intently with their eyes open, a strange thing happens. Their eyes roll up a little. It means that the hearing, just for a moment, has become hungrier than the vision. As far as I know, that there is actually some sort of psychological hypnosis state where your eyes indeed kind of roll up a bit, or when you look up, this is a certain state your brain then is in. I would actually have to look it up, but you could do so as well. Just a little tiny hint for something amazing that Andrew Huberman in his podcast was talking about a while ago, as far as I remember. Our aging cat utters a soft meow of complaint that somehow reminds me of my grandma, Clara, long dead. In the lulls, I hear traffic from the through road 2 miles north. Our dog is lying half asleep under the quince bush. When he stirs, I hear his fur against the grass. My breathing. I am now aware of two cicada type of insects, both scraping their knees in front of me. Nearby is the slower one. The one behind me is faster, but further away. I don't know how long they have been singing. I absent-mindedly rub the fingers of my left hands together. The high-pitched swish of skin on skin. I decided to see what would happen if I stood 2 feet in front of a speaker twice my height and cranked to the max. 2 things happened. First, I experienced a blend of ecstasy and pain so intense that I will remember it forever. And I went a little deaf, actually. A tough lesson, but I learned that the ear is a haven. Pay attention to what you're hearing, what you are subjecting your ears to. You have to know when to say come in and when to say stay out. That is basic to life. What is not obvious is how to do it consciously, deliberately, with your sense of hearing. When you carry an infant around with you, cradling it against the world, you come to understand the equation between its vulnerability and your caring. When you cradle your ears, they become increasingly precious to you, and you seek out new ways to give them love. Stand up for your rights. When my dentist sees me coming, he turns off the music, or M-U-Z-A-K. Maybe it's actually kind of an older way to say music, but I don't know. It's such a relief when you're here, whispers the hygienist. It's even alright to ask your friends nicely to turn off their TV they haven't been watching. Care. Don't give up and let your ears gradually grow closed. You can always find a way of upgrading the sound in your space, or your perception of it, if you care enough. When you do care, the reward is so precious. Murmurs, lullabies, rain, waves of cicadas under the moon. Sounds sufficiently diffuse or distant not to offend you or hook you into their drama. Create a space that not only protects you from unwanted sound, but also releases you from any impulse to close your ears. The exercise is to open up as though your ears are listening through a microscope. Unlistening means clearing sounds from the associations which are often unconscious. Make them conscious. Strip all the layers of meaning away from sounds. Which, and my first interruption here. I do know that. Some people having certain associations with certain sounds that really indeed do not make their lives better. They make it way worse, because when they hear this sound, maybe even this word, they associate this with something. There is, it's connotated in some way, and often, sometimes, it's then not easy to withstand that urge to maybe feel bad, maybe reminding yourself of something that you maybe have forgotten, consciously forgotten, pushed it away. And I in general think that pushing things away as a means of dealing with them is never quite a good idea, but indeed it is something that I always do. And I just realized something. Also because I have added words. It's just a bunch of sounds, bunch of letters. Does a word mean really that much? A word only just means that much because we have connotated it in a certain way. We have given it a meaning. But in the end, it's just a word. Basically, you could exchange words however you would like to. Tree means tree because it is something that we made up. Period. Maybe there are some underlying reasons why tree means tree, or Baum in German means tree. But I would argue that very often it's just, quite randomized. Beyond people's words is the true meaning. Why is it always the case, or so often the case, that I'm talking about something and later on I just, the next paragraph or the one afterwards is exactly about the same fucking thing? It is just very interesting. Beyond people's words is the true meaning. The cadence of desire on their voices, the rising and falling prototype of musical cadence. It is there, raw, every time someone speaks. Speech takes on the pristine clarity of pre-language. The more you listen, the more you hear. 2 music boxes or 3 at once. A stretched string shows how music transforms energy. Dancers need music, but walkers are their own music. And this is actually it with the summary. Very, very Very beautiful, and I do want to underline something. Beyond people's words is the true meaning. People use words, sometimes also in a wrong way, because they think they mean something, but they don't. Which is not bad, but it's definitely not bad as what it is, as so many things in life. They are just what they are, and giving them more meaning and more importance than they should is unnecessary. Really just quite unnecessary. It's not making your life any better. It's making it worse. But yeah, maybe just let's randomizely unlistening means clearing sounds from their associations, which are often unconscious. Make them conscious. Strip all the layers of meaning away from sounds. What may this be? I've initially definitely thought about drama or traumata. But, maybe it's just also just negative connotations. Like, I am hearing an insect, and I feel like, wow, okay, it's in my room, it pisses me off, and I dislike it. I really do. But thinking about this insect is flying around in my room. What might this insect be thinking about? What is the point of view of this insect? What is, and this is interesting now, what is the different point of view? What is the opposite point of view? What is the one in between mine and the opposite? How could I see their world? It's not about listening anymore for me. For me, it is about like living a life. And okay, I may be having an issue with X, Y, or Z, but what if I take on the complete opposite viewpoint? What is going to happen? How am I going to see the world? What is going to change? Am I going to feel better? Am I going to feel worse? What if I was the insect? Well, I definitely wouldn't like to be hurt, but I guess I would understand. I am invading someone's space. But why are we then invading other people's spaces so often? Not only women, which is a very unfortunate thing and I really hate it, but in general, we are no insects, no, like, don't want to say that quite essentially, I really do not, but because for a fact we are not. But still, yesterday I went to bed while my computer was running because I had to render something, and the sound of my fans going crazy, which is kind of always the case for whatever reason, it's just a sound, It doesn't have to mean anything. Nothing has to mean anything. But we give meaning to certain things. We value certain things. It is something that we do. Words don't mean shit. We give them meaning. And I could, if I'm just funny enough, create my own words and their meaning. Or just an alternative meaning for words that are already existent. I could do so if it is smart, if it makes sense, if it is reasonable. Well, maybe not really, but still, I think that changing your point of view on one hand, on the other hand, like questioning the association that you're having with certain things, maybe also with certain people, like, should I Should I know them? Should they be part of my identity? And so on and so forth. Well, don't want to get too philosophical right here, but well, yeah, gonna end the episode there. I think that's been a really, really good one. I should definitely go through more books. The funny thing is, no, anyway,